Hi, I'm Dr. James Young. I'm a port identifier with the United States Department of Agriculture in Baltimore, Maryland. And in this presentation, I'll be talking to you about the larvae of agriculturally significant Tortricidae. Here's a list of many of the surveyed pests that occur in the CAPS program and the port environment surveys. These species also overlap with many of the species that are intercepted through the ports of entry. In this presentation, I'll be focusing on these few groups. Adoxophytes oranga is the summerfruit Tortrix. It is a pest of apple and pear primarily. However, it's reported from a wide range of hosts, including oak, willow, soybean, peanut, pistachios, and many other species that do occur here in North America. The larvae appear similar to many other species occurring in the U.S. Most importantly, the two listed here, and many are Carpini. Molecular diagnostics may be required to positively identify any larvae that are found and thought to be this species. The genus Cydia includes many pests of concern of both beans, nuts, and fruits. We intercepted this species mostly in nuts, chestnut, and oak. However, it is found in apples and pears quite frequently. The larvae are traditionally white to red, and they resemble many other species, but they lack an anal fork. Graphilida funebrana is a pest mostly of stone fruits in the genus Prunus, but also species in the genus Rosa. The larvae, again, are white to reddish. They resemble those of other internal feeding oleothrines, such as Cydia, but they do have an anal fork. Gymnandrosoma araneateum is a pest of chestnuts primarily, and it is not intercepted frequently through the ports of entry. We do get commodities from the areas where this species occurs, and it's not known if the larvae are being misidentified or if they're just not being included in those shipments that we receive here in the U.S. The larvae are not imaged. However, according to the literature, they are 16 to 19 millimeters in length. The abdominal panicula are large and well defined. These two characters alone should separate them from most Cydia. The next species is Lobesia batrana. This species is present in limited areas in the U.S. and it is mostly found on grape and spurge laurel. However, it is recorded from many other species that occur in the U.S. and are economically important. The larvae are light green to pale brown, the head is dark, and the thoracic legs and antennae are dark brown to black. The L panaculum on T1 is horizontal but does not extend beneath the aspiracle. The SV group on the abdominal segments is commonly used to identify many of the species of Tortricidae. It is an important character to see. To help illuminate the CD, it is best to have side lighting that will actually make the CD light up. SD2 on A1 through 8 is absent. This is another character that helps distinguish this species from many other locals. And it has an anal comb. It's important to note that a closely related species, Paralobesia batrana, which feeds in the berries of grape, is found east of the Rocky Mountains. If this species is introduced east of the Rockies, molecular diagnostics will be required to separate the two species, for there are no morphological characters that are reliable. Pimene fascicana is another pest that is rarely intercepted. It is found primarily in chestnuts, and for some reason is not being found through the ports of entry. The larva is light colored with large dark panicula, and the cedal count on the abdominal segments is 3, 3, 2, 2, occasionally 1, which is denoted here by the parentheses, and 1 on A9. There are 3 LCD on A9 that are on a single panaculum. The distance between the VCD is used in this species. To see this character, it's often required to take a small piece of glass and lay it on the abdomen to get the segment as flat as possible. Crochet number is also used, and an anal comb is present. The genus Proeulia is found primarily out of Argentina and Chile. It is a species complex that is currently unresolved. There are many pests being reported of both citrus, grapes, and small berries, and at this time we cannot identify which species these are. The D1 and SD1 CD on A9 are located on the same panaculum, on some but not all. The VCD on A9 are not further apart than those on A8. The SV cedal counts on A1, 2, 7, 8, and 9 are usually 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, but occasionally are 3, 3, 3, 2, 2. Anal comb is present, and the L panacula on A9 is tricetose. Thematotibia leucotria is another pest that is commonly intercepted, mostly on eggplants and peppers coming out of the Old World. It does have a very wide host range. It is not certain if this host range is actually true to this species, or if there's a species complex which involves the closely aligned Cryptophlebia. The L panacula on T1 is enlarged and extending beneath and beyond the spiracle. D1 and SD1 are on the same panacula on A9, and the spiracle on A8 is displaced posterior of the SD panaculum. The L group on A9 is usually tricetose, with all CT usually on the same panaculum. Occasionally, L3 is slightly removed on its own panaculum, but that panacula typically is touching the panacula that has L1 and L2. The anal comb is present, and crochets are unevenly triordinal. It's important to note that the anal comb in some specimens appears to be absent. It's uncertain at this time if that anal comb is possibly deciduous as the larva prepares to molt, or if it's a fresh molt, this structure appears to sometimes harden much later than the rest of the body and appears translucent. A small drop of stain added to the specimen will sometimes help show this character. Tortrix viridana is another pest of concern, primarily to Quercus and Vaccidium. This pest is slightly different than the others I've mentioned. It is a pest actually of the leaves itself. It is reported from a wide range of trees that occur here in North America. The larvae are green to gray. The head color does vary greatly. There are darkened panacula, and the thoracic legs are typically black. And it has an anal comb with 8 teeth. According to the literature, it always has 8 teeth, which is unusual. Many other species have a range in the number of teeth on the comb. This one appears to be fairly static. Here are some suggested references, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.